Hey guys, Metal Viking 82 here, back to show us some more plunder that I've acquired over the last little while. Briefly though, I know I was gone for about a month or so until I started putting up the reviews the last couple of days, but was having some health issues that required my attention. I'm doing a lot better than I was. Things are starting to get back to where they need to be. I've lost about 40 pounds since everything has started. So I'm kind of slowly trying to get back into it. I'm still a little bit rusty. I mean, if you saw my reviews from yesterday, the Mulciber review, I fucked up and put the wrong, I wrote down the wrong lineup because there was another band called Mulciber from down in Texas, and I accidentally got the two lineups mixed up. So bit rusty, you'll have to forgive me. I'm, like I said, getting back into the swing of things, but got a bunch of 2022 releases that I want to show off here. We'll go into big detail on a lot of these just because there is so much to get through. I got to do this in a couple different parts. So yeah, we're going to kick things off with Unembalmed and Beheaded. Now, if you're not familiar with Unembalmed, they are a death metal band out of Phoenix, Arizona. Been around since 2019. This is the band's second EP overall, put out by the band themselves. Limited to 100 copies. Mine is number, if you can see it, 54, and these come with as a CDR that has been splattered with fake blood. Looks really cool, sounds killer. This is their actual second EP of this year, so it's kind of cool that they're that prolific, I guess you could say. Next up, seen this band at Heavy Hell 3. They totally impressed me with their set, and I had to pick up their first album. And of course, when this came up for pre-order, had to get me a copy. I actually originally only got the tape because I couldn't find a place that had the CD, and then somebody linked me up to a place to pre-order the CD, so I got it. But this is Escuela Grind with Memory Theater. And yeah, if you're not familiar with them, they are a grindcore, death metal, power violence band out of Ithaca, New York. Been around since 2016. This is their second full-length album overall, put out by MNRK Heavy. And yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. Like I said, they really impressed me with their live set, and I loved their first one, and this is just another absolute banger. If you love power violence and grindcore, go check out Escuela Grind. Really good stuff. Next up, Carl Sanders with Saurian Apocalypse. And of course, you know, if you're a fan of brutal death metal, you should know who Carl Sanders is. He is, of course, the one of the frontmen and the founder of Nile. But yeah, this is his Middle Eastern / Egyptian ambient project. Of course, he is from Greenville, South Carolina. Been doing this thing right here since 2004. This is his third full-length album, solo album, I guess you could say, out on Napalm Records. And this is actually his first one in 13 years. I mean, I couldn't believe it had been that long. But yeah, another solid album. I love this. It's not metal at all, but this is definitely the kind of music that you would just, you know, put on and just lay down in a dark room and just listen to it and just, you know, enjoy the vibes, I guess you could say. Next up, I've not bought a thing from this band in quite a while, but I've been hearing a lot of good things about this one. I listened to a single from it, and I was like, yeah, now's the time to get back into buying stuff from them. But this is Stradivarius with Survive. Of course, Stradivarius, melodic power metal band out of Helsinki, Finland, been around since 1985. This is their 17th full-length album. Holy shit, that is so hard to believe. But yeah, this is out on Ear Music, and yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. Timo Kotopelto, he sounds as amazing as ever. I've always enjoyed his vocals. Yeah, really solid album. Definitely go check that out if you don't mind some power metal, or some people would call some cheesy metal now and then. Next up, Raven, Leave 'Em Bleeding. If you're not familiar with Raven, they are a new wave of British heavy metal, or heavy speed metal, some would even call them. Formerly based in the UK, now based out of New York, been around since 1974. This is basically a compilation / best of from the last several years of the band, and also some live bonus tracks put up by SBV and Steamhammer. Favorite track on here, though, has got to be number 5, Battle March, Tank Treads. The bass in that song, oh, so good. Now this one, shout out to Necrotic Nick for even making me aware that these guys had a new album out, and based off of seeing him show it and what he said about this, I went and checked it out, and I was like, as soon as I got through the opening track, I was like, yeah, I've got to buy that. This is Born Demon by Sog. And if you're not familiar with them, they are a doom metal band out of Bergen, Norway. Been around since 2004. In fact, former Gorgoroth bassist King of Hell actually used to be in this band for like the first 3 albums. But yeah, this is their 6th full-length album put out by Drakar Entertainment. This is their first album in 6 years. Really good stuff. It is so catchy, and I listened to it like 2 times in a row the day that I got it. If you want a good idea of this sound of this album and even the band in general, just listen to the the lead off track, Fall Into the Fire. Really good stuff. Next up, Sammy Hagar and the Circle, Crazy Times. All right. Now, if you're not familiar with Sammy Hagar and the Circle, they are a hard rock, heavy metal, blues rock super group of sorts, based around members out of Miami, Florida, and the United Kingdom. Been around since 2014. This is their 3rd full-length album overall, put out by Universal Music. Have not heard anything from this particular super group at all, but I'm become a really big fan of Sammy Hagar, and I actually found this at Walmart. And the fact that, my discount card still works because, I recently left that job. Picked this up, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to jamming that. Next up, Slipknot, The End So Far. Yeah, everybody should know who Slipknot are, whether you're a fan or not. Heavy metal, new metal, whatever you want to call them. Out of Des Moines, Iowa, been around since 1995. This is the band's 7th full-length album overall, put out by Roadrunner, and I believe, from what I understand, this is actually the last album from them to be on Roadrunner, because I believe they just left that label. And as you can see, this is actually a different cover than the original. This has got Mick on it because they actually did different versions of the album where you could actually get your favorite member on there, or if you wanted to collect all of them, you could. But of course, Mick's always been my favorite member of the band, so of course I had to pick it up, and I've jammed it a couple times. Really good stuff. All right. Next up, another band that, some people hate, but I've really grown to love this band. This is Drowning Pool with their latest one, Strike a Nerve. Of course, Drowning Pool, another heavy metal, new metal band, whatever you want to call them, out of Dallas, Texas. One moment, please. Sorry about that. Somebody always has to call while I'm trying to do a video. But anyway, these guys are out of Dallas, Texas. This is their 7th full-length album overall, put out by T-Boy/Yumi. And I've only gotten to listen to this once, but I really dig this album. Really good stuff. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to spending more time with it. Of course, I really miss their original vocalist. I think his name was Dave Williams. I'm having a brain fart, but yeah, I really miss him. I really wish, he hadn't tragically passed away, because it'd be interesting to see how this band would sound with him still on vocals. But yeah, still yet, good stuff. Go check it out. Next up, Fit for a King, The Hell We Create. Metalcore, deathcore band out of Tyler, Texas. Again, more Texas metal here. Been around since 2007. Jeez, can't talk today. Again, this is the band's 7th full-length album, put out by Solid State. Only been able to give this a spin one time so far, but I really dug what I heard. I've honestly not been disappointed with anything this band has put out. So, next up, The Legends, Dark Throne, with their latest one, Astral Fortress. Everybody should know who Dark Throne is. Started out as a death metal band, then went into being one of the, I wouldn't want to say progenitors, but one of the, legends of black metal. Now they're more of a blackened, heavy speed metal. Been around since 1987 from Norway. This is their 20th full-length album. Holy shit. This one is put out by their longtime home, Peaceville. Have not had a chance to listen to this yet, but I really dug the last album, so I have no doubts this is going to be another banger. Next up, I actually discovered this band when I was actually ordering something else from this label/distro. I, Saw something that I wanted down there, and this is out of Mexico, and I was just like, well, if I'm going to do this, I might as well pick up a couple other things, make it worth my time, in case the shipping is kind of crazy. But it wasn't too bad, and it got here relatively quick, and I would definitely order from there again. But this is Nullification with Kingdoms to Hovel. Death metal out of the Philippines, been around since just last year in 2021. This is their debut full-length album out on Personal Records, which is actually where I ordered this from. Yeah, I haven't listened to the whole thing, but I listened to about part of it while I was browsing their distro and everything, and sounded really good, so I'm really looking forward to finally getting a chance to jam the rest of it. These last three, I've done reviews for all of these, so I'm not going to talk too much about them. So if you want my thoughts, go check it out. This is Scars of the Flesh with In Darkness Alone. Progressive death metal out of San Antonio, Texas. Been around since 2015. This is the band's third full-length album overall, put up by Bonespell Recordings. And as you can see, the band was nice enough to sign this for me. And yeah, really good album. Go check out my review for my full thoughts, like I said. Next up, Casket Robbery, Rituals of Death. And again, got the vocalist and the guitarist to sign this for me. But yeah, brutal death metal out of Madison, Wisconsin. Been around since 2010. This is their second full-length album put out by Blood Blast Distribution. Again, another really solid, banging death metal album. Go check these guys and gal out. And finally, Carnal Ruin, Soulless I Remain. Death metal out of Tampa, Florida, been around since 2018. This is their debut, and sadly, from what I understand, their only full-length album, as the band is going to be splitting up here soon, put out by Redefining Darkness. But if you love Swedish-style death metal, this is the band for you. All right, that's going to do it for part one. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing, and until next time, stay brutal.